Come on then.
Good morning.
Welcome back to the Finca.
Beautiful day again.
Another one. Fantastic. Spring has sprung, I think.
Indeed it has. As have our melons. They're popping up everywhere.
We've got hundreds. We're going to kick it off today. You've seen in previous videos, we've sowed a load of melon seeds and pepper seeds. We've got thousands.
Yes, and he's a bit impatient. You know, I'd already sown them, and then he's like, "Nothing's coming up, nothing's out. Just put a few more in." So
we've got a little.
We've ended up with hundreds.
A fest. So we've got some compost, we've got some tubs, we've got some donkey manure, and we're going to set out enough tubs that's practical for melons and peppers. We're just going to layer them with the compost, then donkey manure, and then compost, then donkey manure. See how many we can fill up.
Yeah. Welcome to Finca Live. We're Sharon and Andy, just two people with a dream and a vision of restoring our traditional stone-built farmhouse in southern Spain, transforming it into a beautiful off-grid home and sharing our journey with you.
One in there.
So first things first, I need to take this off because it'll get covered in soil. So it's fantastic for doing heavy things, but when you want to use your fingers for delicate things, it's not so good. So try and get this baby out here without disturbing this one, leaving those two in. They're furthest apart, give them more of a chance. Come on. No, it's taken root, this one for sure. It's only little. There we go. Stick him in here. Nice and deep. Press down. So I've already transplanted two baby peppers in here. We're going to do one more pot with peppers, which will give us, well, we've got loads to be honest, but I think if we put two in each pot, that'd be four this season, 3 from last season, and then again each year we'll plant more, and we should theoretically after sort of 3 years end up with plenty, and then obviously if the first lot die off, we'll still have some in reserve, if that makes sense. So this pot needs to go over there because that's going to have more melons in it. So they're in, just going to give them a little bit of a watering without drowning them. Get rid of any air pockets. And then, got to snap these up for more cat spikes because they will be in there. They love to lay on the compost for some reason. Guess it's warm. I can't do this, I need my support on, so I have to go and get that. So there we go, that's another job done, and we've got loads more peppers, as I say. We're just going to leave them and see which survive, survival of the fittest and all of that, and if we need to, then we'll have to be ruthless and pick out the weakest ones. And the melons, so we've got 2, 4, 7, 9, and what's left behind me in this pot here, which is quite a few, but we've run out of compost. We have got 3 more pots left, so we just need to get another bag of compost. But as I say, for now we've done. I'm going to take Tilly for a walk. Right, so we're all hitched up, got the poo bags, got the treats. We have to keep her on the lead till we get up past the panels, because otherwise she'll just make a beeline that way. That's where all the cat food is. So we'll catch you later. Come on, Till. So she's decided we're going this way, and who am I to argue? I think she wants to investigate all the new pots and things, and obviously because she can smell the manure in the wheelbarrow, which is what dogs do. So we're going this way now, apparently. Come on.
So while Sharon's out with Tilly, I want to sort these tomatoes out. We had this plastic net, so come on Jessie. She's gone away out, and the sun's just killed it. Look, it's absolutely rotten. So I'm going to take this down, and I'm going to put up 2 lengths of galvanised wire up the sides, and all we did with this is just tie across the front of the tomatoes with baling twine, the strongest substance known to man, to hold them up and support them. Worked really well. We don't need this stuff anyway, so we'll see if I can get rid of it without damaging the tomatoes. I don't even need to untie it, do I? I need to cut it off. I think it's not going to pull out, is it? I don't know. I can move them, it might do. Oh. Heavy. That might come now. Aye. There we go. Put them back now. Sorry, tomatoes. There we go. Right, let's get some wire. There we go, crude and simple. Just tie around them, one on the other side as well, and that will work. I can even retension this if I need to. I'll get the other side done.
But in the meantime, because they're not big enough yet to climb up the wire, I've just got little food ties here. They're not ever so strong, but at the moment they'll do the job, just to keep them sturdy against the cane. Set just loosely. This one's coming on in leaps and bounds. Can you see the flowers there already? It's really weird because we've used this trough for cucumbers, for peas, tomatoes last year, and this particular end for some reason doesn't seem to grow. We normally end up with a puny one at this end, and this year this is amazing. It was the first one to pop up, and loads and loads, some more flowers there. So I don't know what's happening there, but we'll take it. We're happy. And the reason for supporting them, pretty obvious, but if we get gusts of winds, which we do tend to get here, come from nowhere, if it blows them over and they snap, obviously they'll die. So that should do the trick for now. And finally, Tilly's zonked out, fast asleep after a walk, amongst all her horrible toys, but she seems happy and snoring. So this is our lower courtyard. That's where Andy's been doing that wall. It is a disgrace. It's been like this for some time. It's full of the leaves, the dead leaves off the oleander, which I regularly have to sweep up. This is the oleander itself. You can see that's the tree up there. This is what's growing around the base. Every year I have to chop it right back because it just takes over. There's no gap between that and the orange tree at the moment. We can't walk through there, so it all needs pruning back. Tilly's asleep there with all her things around her. She's got an old dressing gown that she loves, old flip-flop bottles, socks that she's pinched that we've just let her have. It's just a disgrace. So I can't do much at the moment one-handed, but what I can do is try and clear up in here. Oh, that's the coffee table as well that she's eaten. Fortunately it was an old one that we brought from Dolores and the cats had already scratched it to bits, but she's certainly finished it off. This corner here, if you can see that, is just, oh, it's a mess, a real mess. So that's my job for today. So I'm starting with this oleander. Cut it right back. Seems pointless sweeping everywhere up before I've done this because it's going to be a mess again. Tilly's being a very good girl, keeping out the way, because we do realise that the sap from the oleander is poisonous to animals, so we need to keep her out the way. But she's quite content. She had a good walk this morning, so she's just enjoying the sunshine now. So I'll crack on.
One of the first jobs every morning is to walk around the land, check everything, water all the plants, etc. And this morning, well, it was actually Tilly who found them. This olive tree is absolutely covered in little black beetles. Panicked a little bit, made an emergency phone call to Emilio. I'll try and show you them. I hope you can see them there. There's a couple there. Up here there's more. The whole of the tree is absolutely covered in them. Thousands of them. Up there there's like, well, yeah, hundreds and hundreds all over. Another bunch of them there, and getting close enough. As I say, we panicked a little bit, as you do, because we're always aware of infestations and things like that. But apparently, it's totally normal. They're attracted to the flowers on the olive. We've got some. We're surrounded by tracks here all over, and we get a lot of mountain bikers and things coming past. You can hear them in the distance there, enjoying the mountains and stuff. Yeah, they're attracted to the aroma of the flowers on the olive trees. So I said it's absolutely nothing to worry about, so panic over on there, but there you go. And while I think on, we also had quite a few comments about the noise from this inverter in here. To be honest, it's barely audible. The camera picked it up a lot more than it is. And we've actually got a massive hole in the front as well, the stonework that needs building up. When it's all built up and finished, it'll be barely audible, so we don't even notice it now really. But that sound that you can hear is the sound of free electricity. As you can see, there's a massive hole at the top. There's a massive hole here. There's no wall at all. And people also say, should inverters be that noisy? Yes, they are. The one we've got for the main system is not quite as noisy as this, but equally as noisy. This particular inverter runs the fan at 30% capacity all the time. Inverters can generate an enormous amount of heat very quickly when they're converting 24 volts to 230 volts for mains and delivering like 5,000 watts is the case of this one. But yeah, it's not a problem, honestly. The next thing on the list is strimming the land. Normally at this time of the year we have days and days of strimming to do. This picture is from 2022 and the same view from today. you can see how green it was back then, all even in the distance, super green, big loads of flowers, beautiful. This year we've got nothing, not a lot to trim, a little bit. I did the bit by the soak away up there the other day, so we've got a nice little lawn up there. But that's it, there's a bit on the front of the house I need to get done before that gets too big. But other than that, normally I'd have to do all this all around the trees, everywhere, all around the back especially. But so it's good in a way that it saves us days of work, but it's really bad because we've got no water falling out of the sky at all. There we go, much better. I've done round the side, done round the back. I've also done quite a lot of the old dead grasses under the olive trees and around there, because obviously it's a massive fire hazard in such a tinderbox. But that's about it for trimming this year.
And the tree's done. We're taking bets on how long it's going to be before it starts to come back again, because it's just never ending. But as it is, we can now walk around the tree, in between this and the orange tree, which makes life easier. And now all I've got to do, she says, is get this courtyard cleaned up.
The next thing we want to look at is wood, firewood processing, fire and barbecue wood. We've got bundles all over the place out there. We have some within walking distance, some we need the trailer for. So let's go and see what we can get. Tasty. Come on then. So the bundles of twigs, absolutely fantastic. The cuttings from the almond trees, which Tilly absolutely loves. If she doesn't eat them all, they're fantastic for starting fires with, obviously. They're also great on the barbecue if you want a quick hot fire. Do you mind? They're nice. You've got one here already. Yeah, if you want a quick hot fire for searing steaks, for example, without having to build up and let it get down to embers, which we have bigger wood that we use for that, obviously. So next is our massive pile of vines. Every so often, I don't know, every 50, 60 years or so, they pass the best, they rip them out. These were eating grapes, we think, because they're still entangled in all the wire that they used to grow them up. So I'm slowly untangling them and taking them over there, cutting them up. The big bits we use for the fire, the smaller bits we'll use for the barbecue.
And this is the encina that's left from last year, the year before, some of it. We've cherry picked over the winter and taken the pieces that were ideal for our fire, and now we're left with quite a lot of great big pieces that aren't very good. So we're going to fill the wheelbarrow again, and Andy's going to use his new log splitter to split some into a more manageable size. And on the subject of growing things, you may recall we planted a cherry tree and just before we moved into the house, and we lost it. It died amongst several others. But today we've been given some beautiful cherries. Somebody who obviously is more successful than us at growing cherries. Friends of ours have just been gifted them, and Lorna doesn't like them, so we were asked would we like some. We'll never turn anything down, so they look absolutely delicious. Can't wait to try one. So yes, thank you Mark and Lorna. So we're back round the back of the house with the old bath. Potatoes are going absolutely wild, but we've spotted a couple of tomato plants popped up. We did have a stray tomato that grew in that corner last year. Did really well. We hadn't planted it, don't know where it came from. Maybe the seeds were in the compost. We reused some compost. But what I don't want to do is to lose these, because these potatoes, as I say, they're taking over. They're popping up absolutely everywhere. You probably can't see on camera, but I think they are going to outdo the tomatoes. So they're very, very tiny, ideally too small to repot, but as I say, I want to get them out sooner rather than later. We did have another couple over there, but they've just disappeared, so don't want that to happen to these. I believe these are normal tomatoes. We've always had great success with cherry tomatoes, but our ordinary salad tomatoes, they never quite seem to work. They grow, we've had loads of them, but they don't ripen very well, and they tend to split, and I don't know why, because we water them regularly, the same time every day, and you know, consistent amounts of water, which is usually one of the reasons why they do split. But I don't know, 3 years now we've tried them and they split, so we're going to see if we can do better with these. The fact that they've self-seeded, as I said the other day, generally the plants are stronger when they've popped up from nowhere themselves, so it's so tiny. Yeah, so we'll give it another go. And we've got loads of cherry tomatoes planted out in the courtyard, so if all else fails we will have tomatoes this year, but we'll try and save these two. Nothing to lose. So tomatoes are being, well, we've just watered them in, and I don't want them in the sun yet in case it burns the leaves because they are so tiny. So they're in the shade at the moment. Eventually they're going to go here, which gets sort of dappled shade, so a bit of sun, a bit of shade.
Yeah, hopefully stop them from splitting.
Yeah, hopefully that should be a good place for them. But as you can see, it's full of...
I did it.
all the rubbish off the wall that Andy's been working on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, first things first, get this courtyard.
We're going to have a joint effort, get rid of all this. I've still got work to do up there yet, but that's small. We can just move them out of the way. Hopefully that'll be done in a couple of days.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we can clean up anyway, because there shouldn't be too much more mess. So, let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, it's done. I hope you can see how much better it looks. I don't think this has ever been cleared off, this area here. It needs a lot of work doing to it, as does the whole lower courtyard. That's going to be another massive project. But for now, it's nice and clean. We've moved the ladders back because obviously Andy's still got to carry on with this wall. But the tomatoes have now gone over there in their permanent home, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be a bit more successful this year with them. This wall behind me has all got to be pointed. This staircase here, the dreaded staircase, the result of that, or that was the result of me falling down, all needs to be rebuilt. It's a Catalan vaulted staircase. A lot of work to do that, but needs doing sooner rather than later. I don't know whether you can see down here, but there's a big hole, big dip, that the floor is so uneven. We've got lovely big stones, so at least we don't have to do what we did in the upper courtyard and go out and search for big stones. They're already here, but they're all higgledy-piggledy. That is actually sinking, that area there, so eventually we want to lift all the stones, get them to some kind of level, put them down and put them into some mortar, because at the moment it's just soil in between the stones, and you know, when you're sweeping, it's just never ending. You could go on forever just sweeping at the soil. So if we get some cement down, some mortar, that would be much better. Likewise, these steps need rebuilding. This is the pipe that runs into the deposit from the guttering on the roof. We've protected it roughly with some old roofing tiles, but it all needs doing properly. We had a bit of a move round. You may notice the old coffee table that Tilly had destroyed the front of. We've moved it up, put it here, put the bad side against the wall. We'll just have to wait and see. She may start on this side, I don't know, but it's out of the way there. We've moved our little table and chairs down as well, because eventually this is going to be opened up. We're going to have French doors in here, so we've got access from the lounge, because behind this wall is what will be our lounge come dining, our main living room. So we've then got access from there into the courtyard. So moving the table and chairs up just gives us more room and allows us to do that. You may remember this wall, we've put a new window in here, so Andy's pointed up all around that. We've put a new door on. We raised the level of the door because it was very, very low, constantly banging our heads. But the rest of the wall is fairly good. This stuff is not coming off, it's so tough. Just a little bit of pointing, if you can see, around the door of the apartment there, the hayloft, needs doing. But I think probably this is the best wall in the house, so and that brings us to the end of the video, guys. We're absolutely shattered. It is a really warm day, and sweeping with this and the dust everywhere, I need a nice cold beer. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks to all our subscribers, all our patrons, everybody that's bought us a coffee or indeed a beer, very much appreciated, and we'll see you next time.